Hello, welcome to Odds On, Cricket World TV's betting show. I'm joined by Pennington and Jim White. We're going to have a look at some of the fixtures coming up in the cricketing year ahead. I think we start with the World 2020 and the favourites for it this year.
Well, just looking at the odds, the favourites, South Africa, interestingly enough, made the semi-finals in 2009. India, always got to fancy them, the way that 2020 cricket sort of really exploded in their country. Inaugural winners back in 2007. And of course, winners in 2009, Pakistan, they're them at sort of 6-1. The South Africa, India 4-1, the best sort of base price you can get for them. So it's a very open market.
I was going to say, why do you think Pakistan have slipped slightly in the betting and South Africa have come to the fore? Because they haven't won a tournament, or not in the last couple of years, they haven't won the tournament.
They haven't. They're always sort of very strong going into tournaments, and you sort of get the impression that, well, this time they must win because they keep sort of getting to sort of semi-finals, quarter-finals, and then maybe it was called choking or not, but they do seem to have this issue with the latter stages. Pakistan, they've had 4 captains in the last year, and that can't do much for team stability. I think that's why their odds have just drifted a little. Isn't
it a shame, Jim, to see England out as far as 12s at the moment to win?
It is, but it's where I put my £10 probably. So,
really?
Well, it's worth a bet, I think. Those sort of odds, you never know. And I think the way 2020 is, anything can happen. There's a lot of teams looking to upset the odds, and I think this is an opportunity for England to back themselves to go all the way.
What about the West Indies, though, in their own backyard?
I was just going to come on to that. I think that they represent terrific value, sort of 15-2, 9-1 for me. In their own backyard, they're very, very strong. I would be very surprised if they don't at least make it to the final.
I was at a couple of their games last year, and I was actually really impressed. I think they're underrated. I think that's... Sorry, guys, that's where my £10 going to be going on that.
I think mine as well, actually.
Let's look at some of the other teams involved, though. Ireland, of course, made it through. Afghanistan made it through. Think anybody would be tempted by a bet there?
I don't see why not. I mean, the price is certainly very appealing. Ireland 500-1 with some bookmakers. Afghanistan 500-1,000-1. I mean, it is that unlikely they're going to go on to win. But today you can dream.
You can. I think I'm going to move my £10 because I think either of those are still worth an each way bet. I think they've shown that they can play the format of the game. I think they're better than other teams because they're playing more often, and that could well be a key factor as the teams approach the competition's finals day.
If you remember, though, the opening match of last year's where the Netherlands beat England, they're at 500-1. That's worth a long shot, isn't it, for somebody?
It was. I mean, I was there at the time, getting not too soaked, but the atmosphere was quite amazing, and England unfortunately didn't play as well as they would hope to have done. It was all about Holland and Netherlands, and they really were a team at that time that came together. That's why I think at times, if a team gets a run, I think their odds will shorten as they go forward to the latter stages.
Well, let's hope England have a run of the test format type anyway this year. We're heading up to another Ashes in the winter. What are the odds at the moment? I mean, England obviously hold the urn right now, but it's in Australia.
That's right. It's going to be very tough for them, and the odds reflect that. Australia, their odds on wherever you look, there's various prices here: 2-1 on, 7-4 on, 15-8 on, for example. England, you can sort of best price you'll get for them is looking here. You're sort of 10-3. 100-30 if you're used to that sort of balance. The draw is around about between 4 and 5-1, so that very much says the bookmakers think that Australia are the heavy favourites. England probably got a bit of a chance, but not much of a chance, and they're not really going with the draw, which I would actually, that's where my money would go. I think it'll be a draw.
5-0 whitewash to Australia. The odds on that are a bit longer this time around, luckily, thankfully.
Yeah, long odds. I mean, we mentioned earlier that Australia are in transition at the moment. I think what will happen between now and the start of the series will have a big effect. I think these odds will change quite a way between now and then. It'll be great to see England shortening the odds. I'm sure they'll be happy with that. Australia may go out a little bit. The draw, I think, is a good bet. I think 4-1's a pretty generous offering there, and could well be worth an each way.
So if I gave you £10 each then, where would your money go, 2020 in the Ashes?
For me, I would go in the 2020 World Cup with the West Indies and the Ashes. I'm going to go with the draw. It's a good price. And I think it's the wrong price. I think it's going to happen.
I'd agree on the Ashes there, John. I think the draw is a favourite on that one there. World 2020, well, I've already put £10 on England at 12-1. I might change that, given you've just reminded me of that chance of that happening. I think the West Indies are a good bet, and I'll put half of it on the West Indies and half on England.
That's just because I tipped the West Indies before. I can't believe you're both following me. And as for the Ashes, I'm going for a 2-1 Australia. Sorry about that. Right, thanks very much for watching us. It's Odds On Cricket World TV.